Oh, hi, everybody.
Why are you doing that?
Hello.
What?
So it's become apparent that people want some sort of statement, an update video, or whatever, which is understandable, I guess. YouTube is just show and tell and DIY stuff. It's really become people's replacement for television, so that's probably why, I guess. I don't know. First, sorry about the upload schedule. I wasn't hiding in a corner. I just didn't plan this video release well. I had a buddy come down to visit, and the stuff I had in the tank became irrelevant, or things changed because I got distracted with other things. And to be honest, that other video, I try to respond to every comment, and it's hard to do that when they're flowing in so fast. It is what it is. But I didn't plan things very well with my schedule or any of that other stuff, so oops. But that's why there's been an air gap. Had some range days, got some footage I needed, and honestly, I had a great weekend. The only correction I have from the takedown, literally the only correction, is it's 5th group, not 5th ODA. I fucked that up, I'm retarded.
I'm retarded?
I had some guy put it in the comments, and I pinned it for a while, but then there was other things that happened that necessitated me pinning a different comment, so that's why I got drowned out. There's one guy who's really upset with me about it in the community, and he brings it up every 5 seconds. So just for the sake of him, and honestly, to credit to the guy who fixed it, I fucked that up. It's 5th group, there's groups, and then an ODA is a small team. There's multiple ODAs in each group. I fucked up, my bad. And I'm not gonna talk about the previous video too much because I agreed not to. The reason I'm not gonna talk about it is because of other things that happened. It's not about not standing by what I said. A lot of you have a really two-dimensional, linear path of how you think things work. And so did I, honestly, which was a mistake I made. I thought, you know, just so long as I did and said things above board, everything would work out. But then, you know, a certain company made a statement, and it changed conditions on the ground, and it opened me up to certain things. So whether I had anything to do with it or not, anybody worth their salt would be able to make an argument. And I'm not trying to spend thousands of dollars. I do these videos in my kitchen. I pay my bills. I'm not gonna ask y'all to pay my bills. I'm not gonna do something, have a byproduct, and then be like, oh no, I didn't prepare for this, so you guys need to help me out like a lot of other channels do. That's why. But we're not gonna get into specifics. And at the end of the day, I'd rather not have people that can kill me or fuck me into the planet with their bare hands mad at me versus some high schoolers with fake accounts that think they're tough on the internet. Oh, we'll get to those comments in a minute. Some of you also don't understand how Discovery works. So you might think like, oh, well, if it's truthful, blah, 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 yeah, but then I gotta throw the redacted stuff out there unredacted. You see where I'm going with that? So it is what it is. Again, I'm not talking about it. I agreed not to talk about it. Some of you wanted an explanation and just won't leave it alone. So that's as much of an explanation as I'm gonna get. No, his legal team didn't find me. That was accurate. And that's about where that is. But I appreciate the people who talk to me are still talking to me. I appreciate the opportunity. It's really nice knowing you guys. And those dudes that are spinning up, thanks guys. Good hunting and stay dangerous. The other lesson I learned from this whole thing is you can be as clear and precise as you want, and people are gonna say you said things that were easily refuted, like just by watching what I put out. Oh shit. We live in this yes queen, tell your truth generation. So there's really no, like, it's like that meme where the guy's trying to break down to Patrick Barney style how to say something, and then he just says the other thing he was already saying. It's kind of like that, you know. Words like cancel and all this other horse shit never came out of my mouth, but there's not much you can do. And then the Don Lemon and Chris Cuomo of the fucking gun world came out and had to review my video, but then they're like, oh, why are we talking about this? And it's so you can get money from it. What do you mean, why are you talking? They couldn't even quote me right. Also, I'd love to know what special forces guys you're talking to, bud. That was an interesting claim there. I don't know if maybe they know the same ones I do. I don't know. That'd be interesting to have them talk. But realistically, don't believe all the virtue signaling and the prepared statement that just made its way through the commenters. They don't really do anything, man. Like, they just sit there and comment or make excuses for things they promised to do and didn't get done.
Who?
A lot of people.
So it's fine, you know, that's their thing, but you know, they want to sit here and like, oh, I didn't listen to that 30-minute video, but you make all right, anyways, I don't want to kick any more shit up. Everybody's in healing and togetherness mode for once. But it was it was nice to see that script circulate different channels. That was pretty funny. You guys didn't even like change the homework to make it look like you didn't copy off each other. It was pretty funny. It was definitely the telephone game, which is fine. You know, I expected this. I said it in both of the videos that were taken down that I expected this to happen, and people were gonna call me a bitch. Oh no, whatever. It's fine. I will say too, props to that one guy for showing that range footage, saying it was refuting me. I was looking for that. I needed it. Thanks for posting it. Most people don't know what they're looking at anyway. But anyways, we're moving on. I said I was gonna leave it, and so long as he leaves it and lets it lie, that's where it's gonna stay, and we're gonna move on. Some of you might not though. Y'all are archaeologists. More power to you. Changing gears. I'm glad a video I fired off got some of you to send some money to the FPC finally. Some of you are base chads and have been doing it all along, but it is still nice to see the bump in funding for the FPC. So speaking of that, they're putting in work. Keep them funded. They challenge things as they pop up in court, which is good. The FPC doesn't really do TV spots or any of that stuff. They'll do like memes and stuff to get people going, but I'm happy about that. They're also going hard on banned states, giving those behind enemy lines some relief, which is good. Other gun rights groups completely gave up on them. They'd say they're gonna help and they'd take their money, but ultimately, other than the Heller decision and a few other little things, it didn't really do anything for those people that was meaningful within their state. So it's good to see that. Please help the FPC keep the pressure up and on those elected officials that are just constantly hell-bent on taking everybody's shit. Because that's what they're ultimately pushing for, let's be real. And for us, we need to keep the pressure up, period, always. We just need to stay a unified front and keep handing these guys L's. That would be great. All right, so the pistol brace comment numbers. So real quick, I'm gonna hit the pistol brace and receiver stuff. I go off of the public numbers. I don't care about the aggregate number of comments submitted, it's more the amount of comments that have been reviewed and are public. We can send as many as they want. That final number happens, and it has to be a definitive, massive number. This camera's on hospice. The public numbers are all that matter at the end of the day, and they need to be a large number to show that there's a large amount of people concerned. So despite the fact that there's 300,000 comments submitted, it doesn't matter. It's all the approved comments, and there's definitely not as much time. If you refresh it and you look at the days remaining, there's kind of some fuck shit they're doing there where they're saying, oh, you have 30 days left, but it's 30 days as of the last day it was refreshed. So it'll say the 19th, today's the 20th. So it'll say on the 19th, we have this many comments, you have 30 days remaining. No, you have 29 days remaining. And just because there's all this time doesn't mean you need to take all this time to make these comments. So the pistol stabilizing brace numbers are 120,506 with 50 days as of yesterday. So 49 days as of the 20th of July. We need to get those numbers up. At least meet their minimum of 375,000. If you've submitted a public comment, use your validation code to check and see if it's still there. If it's not, write another one. And if you submitted an anonymous comment or something like that, then just take the time to do a public comment. Get those numbers up. Speaking of getting numbers up, and finally the GOA did videos about this. Finally. The pistol brace thing is bad, but the receiver thing is much more far-reaching, much more vague, and does include suppressors. and there's only 88,337 comments with 30 days as of yesterday. So less than 30 days, and we can't even crack 100,000 comments on that. By far, that is the most important of the two. They're both important. They both need to be commented on, and they both need representatives written to, but there's less senators that signed on to opposing the receiver comments because not enough people are pressing them on it, because people are buying these. The same people who orchestrated this shit in the first place, you're relying on them to tell you that it's just for polymer 80s. There's a whole thing in there about suppressors. No one's really talking about that. So the GOA did a video on it finally. It's in the comments. It's from a week ago. I already did this video, but things changed. Had to catch it up. You know. So get those comments in and write your representatives. I've done multiple videos on this, and there's a video about how to write your representatives if you've never done it before. All right. David Chipman's nomination, probably not going to make it through. It has to go to a Senate vote, but we have to keep the pressure up, and we have to keep watching that dude's nomination date. So it's not something that we can let go by. First, they're going to try to pull some shit, like have the vote really late at night, or they're going to do something where it's not a normal vote, I have a feeling, because they had an opportunity to bail on this guy, just like that one chick with the bad Twitter post that they pulled off the nomination. They don't want that to happen again. So they're trying to push this guy through. Plus he's a gun control hawk and advocate, so that's why they want him in there. But he and his wife are up to some weird stuff. They've been funneling money, I think. I have to dig into what they were doing. I don't know. It doesn't look good for them, and they're definitely not above board, which we all knew. When you're part of Ruby Ridge, Waco, and Fast and Furious, that should... And the guy lost his service weapon. Oh, boy. However, there is something not a lot of people are talking about, and it's going to be the byproduct of the pistol brace thing, the receiver thing, and David Chipman not going through. It's going to be a very, very large loss for them. And you bet your ass after this, no matter how it goes, whether they get 1 out of the 3 or 2 out of the 3, their side's going to be looking for revenge. So buckle up, because they're already putting more pressure on Facebook groups. There's already been changes. Some groups have been eliminated. Some are like, hey, these are the newest rules, so stop saying these things, stop doing these things. And they're really, really going hard on people that want to get a word out or notify people that certain things are happening. So unless you just want to rely on Fox News to get all your gun control push information versus all these other channels, they're going to shut people down, and there's a big push to do it already. And I don't know if you watch the news or any sort of thing about press briefings, but the press secretary essentially said for the Rona,
in terms of actions, Alex, that we have taken, or we're working to take, I should say, from the federal government, we've increased disinformation research and tracking within the Surgeon General's office. We're flagging problematic posts for Facebook that spread disinformation,
so they can control the narrative. And don't think that that's the only thing they're doing that for. We keep kicking them in the dick, and they're mad, so now they're going to start pushing to shut down our methods of communication, to stifle our ability to respond to things. So you really have to be able to do all this stuff on your own. You have to send the FPC and GOA money. You have to write your representatives. You have to do all these things on autopilot, because there's not going to be gun channels and all this other stuff to be around. So you know Facebook's already doing that. Then means YouTube's going to be doing it, because Facebook, YouTube, and Google are in cahoots with each other. It's not a conspiracy theory. They literally said it at a fucking press briefing. Think about where you want to be on that. And if they stifle our communication and it happens anyway, then they won't know what to do, because they'll be like, ha, we got them, and then no, you didn't. Surprise, bitch. So stay in your Discords, keep those Discords up, get the word out there. And again, you can craft templates to your representatives and then just change the body and then send them off that way. It's no big deal. You just have them on your computer ready to go, change the date, change your, topic, and then send her off. It's not hard. Also, next year you have to vote. I'm not saying everybody votes the same way, but you got to get out there. It's ridiculous. You also have to keep the pressure on your state and local levels, because Colorado and a few other states are finding this out the hard way. They wake up and then some cities changed preemption and it's just allowed to fly. Governor Cuomo just signed some shit where you can sue gun manufacturers. How many lawsuits do you think Glock is going to catch for murders in the hood? And it's not going to be some random lawyer. It's going to be these gun grabbing groups like Moms Against Gun Violence and the Brady campaign and all this other stuff going to the family saying, we can get you money. All you have to do is sign on to this lawsuit. And then Glock is sitting there swatting down lawsuits for God knows how long, trying to stay afloat. That's going to be their target now. And that law is illegal, by the way, but it's pending challenge. So it's going to sit until it's been challenged and there's an injunction filed. It's stupid stuff. I know I fuck around a lot. I know I don't really take myself seriously sometimes. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Everybody's a narcissist that makes YouTube videos. This is no bullshit, all right? You can feel about me how you want to feel about me. You can say what you want to say to me. That doesn't bother me. Social media and YouTube, like I said earlier, are working directly for the government now. And you have to be really careful in the comments. And again, this has nothing to do with me personally. I don't report comments. When you say things or communicate threats that we both know is not going to happen, there's stuff that goes into a catch. It doesn't even make, like, there's people that leave regular comments on my videos and it's been happening. I've made posts about it. And I've said things. There's people that'll just be like, hey, great video. Or when I made that spaghetti video, they were like, this is the content we subscribe for. And it wasn't there. But when you make really spicy comments now, it's hitting a filter. And that filter goes into a catch and it goes straight to somebody's desk. Sorry, NSA and FBI. Sorry to pull that curtain back for you. They also have the post office monitoring people's social media. There's a lot of people don't know this, and they're actually the most well-paid investigators. It's a 1811 position that makes like 120K starting off. Anyways, the postal inspector has an office, and it's all law enforcement, and they get to do a whole bunch of stuff because nobody suspects the post office. Man, I'm gonna have some people mad at me after this. But you gotta be careful with the shit you're saying because there are people looking at it, and there are people putting it in a catch, and I'm not saying it's going to get held against you or any of this other stuff. I'm just saying it's happening. So I've had to change some of the shit I say and the way I talk. A lot of people have had to do that, and some people have already figured this stuff out. But you really have to be careful with the social media companies now being an extension of the government and being funded by the government with the post office and all this other stuff. And they're talking about hiring private companies to monitor emails and social media posts. And private companies don't have the same restrictions as the government, as we're finding out. FBI, clear right! You can say whatever you want, I don't lose any sleep over it, but for real, these people are trying to fuck people over. They're registering people as extremists or certain channels as gangs or all this bullshit just so they can go after you easier. So don't think this stuff isn't happening. Don't think I'm just trying to scare people or whatever the fuck. I don't care. Do what you're gonna do anyway, because you're gonna do it anyway. But just understand this stuff's happening. And a lot of these comments, which I was laughing at, were stopped before they even, like, they're not on, you can't find them. Like if I just did a roll through of all these comments, you won't find them. And if I go through my channel, I didn't report any. It's kind of like Facebook. You can't even say bitch on Facebook. Just have some situational awareness with that. And be careful. It doesn't take my stupid ass telling you this shit to follow it through to its logical conclusion, okay? Just really watch what you're doing. Whether you like me or you don't like me, it's not right. I mean, we have a First Amendment in this country. But keep an eye out because this shit is getting wild. And it's getting wild fast. Oh, by the way, before I leave, the best shit-talking comment, there's a lot of people that, came hard, tried to go hard in the paint. I know they worked really hard on it. They thought about it all day. Some of them took multiple days to put it together, but they were weak sauce. The best comment was a dude, and I don't think it saved either because he said something about sperm, but the best comment was a guy who like copy and pasted some gay erotica or gay porn. I actually laughed pretty hard at that for a while. That one was fucking funny. That dude is a gem. I'm gonna put his little thing up there. Best shit talking comment. Congratulations. At least he was original. Some of you Some of you sound like you just go to a gun shop and listen to stuff and then repeat it online, hope it works. Don't ask me where he found it. It's definitely some interesting stuff, but it was definitely the most creative. So props to that guy. Reach out to him, tell him good job, and maybe check out some of that gay porn if that's your stuff.
I have relationships with women and sex with men.
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.
Now I'm gonna get back to work. Thanks for watching. Take care out there.